If you're struggling to pursue your goals, then that is completely normal and it is to be expected. The reason why most people struggle to pursue their goals because it is really tough. So in this episode, we're going to talk about what you can do to make things relatively simpler and a lot less difficult even. Hi and welcome back to another episode of Up It and the Actionables podcast. If you're a returning viewer or a listener, thank you so much for tuning back in. If you're new here, my name is Payden and this channel is all about mindset coaching tips that can really help you move toward your life goals. So with that, if you haven't already subscribed, be sure to hit that subscribe button and bell icon. That way you can get alerted every time we bring you content, which is every week. And with that, let's get into this episode. Imagine for a second that you could achieve anything that you wanted. That house, that income, that beautiful relationship. That undoubtedly sounds incredible, right? Now think about all the reasons why we don't already have the things that we want. You know the answer. It's because it is really tough. Because it is easier said than done. Well, at least that's what a lot of people believe. When it comes to pursuing your goals, there's this belief that in order to achieve what you want, it is extremely difficult. Well, while that might be true, it is not necessarily the whole truth. What do I mean by that? Well, let's dissect it. When you have a belief that what you want to achieve is difficult, guess what happens? Then most definitely, your pursuit toward that very thing becomes difficult. And while nobody does that consciously, they may still end up jeopardizing themselves. So how can you pursue your goals without necessarily struggling? So let's talk about some of the habits that are going to help you not make your journey filled with so much struggle. So you ready? Let's get into it. But I'd like to point out that these are habits and not a one-time practice. So you're going to have to really commit and reap the benefits of it because they work if you work them. With that, let's look at our first mindset habit for pursuing goals. The first one is look at your beliefs. Earlier, I mentioned that if you have this belief that in order to pursue your goals, it is going to be extremely challenging. While that is true, it is not necessarily the whole truth because while the challenges are real, it will really help if you have a corresponding belief as well, which is that even though the struggle is real, you can still achieve your goals despite it being difficult. And every single one of us has both these beliefs at a cellular level. So if you choose to focus on your challenges, then you strengthen your belief that it is going to be difficult. And then guess what happens? It is downhill from there. However, if you choose to focus on what can you do instead to get out of this jam, to figure out your way, then you go ahead and strengthen the second belief, which is that you can figure it out, you can work around your challenges. And that is the beautiful thing about beliefs. It is not fixed, it is completely up to each one of us on what we choose to believe and do with those beliefs. And the only person who can change them is you. To examine the beliefs that you have and to constantly see whether what you're believing is actually helping you move toward your goals. If it is not moving you toward your goals, then perhaps maybe that belief is not an empowering belief and maybe it is time to change it. The second mindset habit is to feed your mind. Just like we feed our bodies to be able to function, we need to feed our mindset. Imagine taking your car out for a drive with very less gas. Well, not the smartest thing to do, right? Similarly, when it comes to pursuing your goals, imagine running low on your mindset gas. Then it becomes so much easier for us to be stuck in our challenges and to not be able to take action towards what we want. Think of it as mental diet. Whatever you put inside to fuel your mind, and that is in terms of the thoughts that you're having, which is in turn dependent on the kind of social media that you're consuming, the people you hang out with. So if you want to have enough fuel to move towards what you really want, get extremely protective about what goes inside your mind and how you fuel your mindset. Habit number 3 is compete with yourself. If you truly want to achieve your goals, then you have to consider giving up this need of comparing yourself with someone else. You've heard this ample times before that your biggest competition is you yourself. Something beautiful happens when you assume total responsibility for your actions and you are committed to improving yourself. You don't just feel a whole lot more relaxed and chilled out, but you can take so much better action towards what you want. So instead of competing with someone else, compete with yourself. Are you being the best version of yourself? Are you being more healthier, happier, and more fulfilled with yourself? Not this need to compare yourself with someone else's life and success. So how about focusing on your growth? You'll be so much better for it. And the last fourth habit is being alone. There's this really nice phrase, which I'm sure you've heard at some point, that being alone and being lonely are two very different things. When it comes to pursuing your goals, you are going to feel lonely at times and you will feel like you're doing something extremely challenging all by yourself. So unless and until you learn to enjoy your company, it's going to feel like excruciatingly lonely and painful when it doesn't have to feel that way. Honestly, in my early 20s, I used to want to be around others because I couldn't stand the thought of being just by myself. I found it weird and I thought that it would say something about me if I wasn't hanging around with people all the time. It was not until I started practicing mindfulness when I realized that there is so much power in actually being alone with yourself, because that's when one can go deeper and really discover their likes, their dislikes, and that can't ever happen when we are surrounded by people all the time. You're going to be able to learn and discover things about yourself that you did not know before, because there is nothing like getting to know oneself. So in the end, I hope you're going to consider these habits when it comes to pursuing your goals. It will make your journey towards what you want a whole lot simpler and better. So if this episode resonated with you, then you know what you need to do. Leave me a comment below and tell me and share it with a friend. If you want further personalized coaching tips, then be sure to hit subscribe to our email list, which is called One Thing to Help You, which is a personalized email which I send out every week with mindset coaching tips and a whole lot of love. Till next week, I hope you'll remember that what you want matters and it's really up to you to make it happen. Stay happy and stay healthy. I'll see you in the next one. See ya.